a lot of people asked me to write a sequel to The Pillars of the Earth, and at first I used to say, no, there will not be a sequel, because all of the characters in The Pillars of the Earth are at the end of the book either very old or dead, so I can't write another book about them. But whenever I appeared at a bookshop like this and talked to readers, they would always say to me, when are you going to write another book like The Pillars of the Earth? And so I thought for a long time about what the sequel could be, and in the end I decided to write another book about the same town, Kingsbridge, set 200 years later. The other thing that made me wait was that I was very worried about writing a sequel to a book that had such a special place in readers' hearts. I was very frightened that if I wrote something quickly, you would be disappointed and you would say it's not as good as the first book. And I was very worried about that, very sensitive about it. And so I was determined not to write it until I felt really sure that I had a really good story, and one that you would like just as much as you like The Pillars of the Earth. I needed a big theme. The second book, World Without End, obviously couldn't be a book about building a cathedral, because that would be really the same book. But I needed a grand theme to express in World Without End, comparable to the building of a cathedral, and it took me a long time to figure out what that could be. Eventually I thought of the Black Death, which is a plague that afflicted all of Europe and the Middle East and North Africa in the 14th century, and killed 1/3 of the population of Europe. So it was a huge disaster. You have to imagine the street where you live, and imagine one family in 3 dies of a terrible disease. And so that's the theme of World Without End. The story is about how the town of Kingsbridge copes with that terrible plague when it arrives.